Got a scoring update in just a moment. Clock winding down, about 45 seconds left to go. Again, we apologize. The connection's been going in and out here at Jim Warren Park. Not much we can do about that, but here's Sheets, the hero for FCA. Can he have another miracle moment? And loses the football again, and the Cowboys recover it. I certainly hope I didn't jinx it there.
FCA had a big drive going. They coughed that football. That Cowboys defense is hard hitting. They will smack you in the mouth. And look at this. Here on the handoff. Started left, came back right, had space, and just stripped the ball out. Not a whole lot of security by Sheets. He didn't have the 4-point contact. And the Cowboys able to get the ball out.
And again, the Franklin Cowboys just showing their dominance.
They could jump out to a huge lead here, Spence.
That was one of the things that we talked with Coach Collins about it on Extreme Radio on Sunday. You could go back and listen to it at any time. But one of the major things he talked about, he said, I always tell my guys that's the first thing I'm going to tell them on practice on Monday. It's FCA. Never underestimate them. And they haven't underestimated them to this point, as it's a gain of about 4 yards for 2nd and 6.
That's a hard run by Kenny. Just putting his head down, making it happen.
And that is likely going to be the last play of the first quarter unless the Cowboys can get another snap off here. And after just 12 minutes, we have a game.
Do it.
After just 12 minutes, we have a game on our hands. 12-6 on Franklin Christian Academy's homecoming night. They are down by 6 to the Freedom Cowboys. You're watching thekingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Start of the second quarter at Jim Warren Park. The sides of the field switch, and the Cowboys on 2nd and 6. Fake handoff. Here's on the left side. It's a rush attempt by Nathan Ogletree.
Still on his feet.
Still up to about the 39-yard line for 3rd down and 1, and many scores going up for the league. I believe they won't move the chains. It's about 3rd down in inches, but we've got some updates from around the league.
Samuel Hubbard to Clay Lott. It's 14-7, Lancaster and Classical.
Whew. It might start to get ugly over there.
Also, 23-yard run by Kadarius Price. Two-point conversion is no good. Eagles lead the Colts 22-0.
It might start to get ugly over literally just across the street. I could see the spotlights
I could see the field lights, yeah. It's crazy.
We'll get a camera shot of that after this one. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys. They push the pile and move the chain.
It's almost as close as Overton High School's field and Franklin Road Academy's high school field. I mean, literally, it's almost the same distance, maybe a little bit closer there.
The only thing blocking this is the trees. I can even see one of the field goal posts from here, I'm pretty sure. I could see the little outline there.
Yep.
That might not be the field goal post. That's a light post.
It was close enough.
It looks like it from the light angle, but right across the street, Classical and Lancaster in a divisional matchup. And again, the Knights fighting for their playoff lives. Left side, it's a rush again by Ogletree. Gain of about 2 yards for 2nd and 8.
Well, and at this point, Freedom just needs to slow down, start grinding the ball, grinding some clock, and getting to halftime, because they get the ball after halftime. I mean, you're already at that point. You want to think about that and put it in the back of your thought hopper. Make sure that you know that, you know what, all we got to just, let's eat clock. That's their game. It's just like Swanee's old offense they run now. Eat clock, keep the score low.
2nd and 8. There's another handoff up the middle, just plowing through the defense. And a big rush by Cowboys again. Joshua Butler, one of the several guys who was able to carry the ball. And again, both teams only have one timeout going down the stretch of this. So if they're wanting to stop the clock, potentially get some scores, time management is going to be the key.
It's like facing the Giants. It don't have to be pretty. It don't even have to look beautiful. Just do it. Put it up the middle. And I know I butchered that quote, but it's a great quote.
3rd down and 1. And there's another. He sold that pretty
keeper.
well.
That was a great sell.
1st and 10 to move the chains, and now into Falcons territory.
Little jousting match across the street, and it's gotten. It's going to get fun.
Why do you say that?
No, I'm just saying where it's 14-7.
Do you have a scoring update from it?
No, it's the same score.
This one 12-6. That one across the street 14-7. Could have been 14-7 had there been extra point kickers for both teams, but Lancaster and Classical not have those.
No, Classical does.
Right side rush. And gain of about 6-7 yards on the play, and another big move by Hermina. Again, it's tomato. We're going to.
We have Cowboys fans to our left. Next commercial break, we will actually. You know what? We have someone up here. We will ask them how to properly pronounce that name, so that we both know. Because I could be wrong. I mean,
could be Hermina.
I was wrong once, and then I found out I was wrong. But it could be that.
Could be Hermina. Could be one. It could be one of those abstract pronunciations. But 2nd and 1, regardless of how you pronounce somebody's name, the Cowboys trying to push it through. There's another quarterback keeper. Sold it a little bit better that time.
Falcons were ready for it.
They were ready. And 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. That'll move the chains.
The game tempo has definitely picked up, though. Kind of start and stop at the very beginning.
So on the 31-yard line, Falcons trying to get a defensive stand here. Again, coached by Shaka Hill. Go to Extreme Talk if you haven't listened to that interview already. We'll get another scoring update in just a moment, but Shaka Hill, one of the major reasons that Franklin Christian always puts up a good match and stays in it is because of that defensive coordination, regardless of size. Right side, quarterback keep by David Kinney, down to about the 17-yard line. The defense couldn't get through to that one. 1st and 10 in the red zone.
Well, CCS is on the scoreboard. Micah Jones, the quarterback, he's having to put the team on his back. 56-yard touchdown run. They're still down, though, 22-6.
If any of you are thinking of making predictions other than James Shannon or Jonathan Thompson, if you're thinking about making predictions for who's going to get in the MTAC championship.
Blue, sorry. Timeout. Defense.
So the last timeout burned by the Falcons with 7:20 left to go on the clock. Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit ihatebuyinginsurance.com. .7:20 left to go in the second. Only one timeout left for either team, and that's Freedom's. possession on that and rush up the left middle by, dude, forgot to ask him if it was Hermina.
And that was a textbook tackle by a guy I am so glad to see back on a football field, Adam Hubble. After suffering a terrible injury against Riverside, we were at that game. He's right back in the mix. And like I said, textbook tackle getting in there and breaking down Hermina.
Great to see him cleared and everything, but it's now 2nd and 9. And there's another rush. Another one by Joshua Butler.
Butler on the carry. Be enough for Cowboys first down. Inside the 10-yard line, be first and goal.
It's now 1st and goal on about the 7-yard line.
I have confirmation. It is Hermina.
With about 6:15 left to go. Rush up the middle, open pocket, touchdown. Big rush by Nathan Ogletree to put another 6 points on the board.
That's big by the Cowboys, rather. Boost that lead a little bit.
And you just look at the positioning that Ogletree had on this. He just read right through.
Oh, my gosh, Spencer. Yeah, just cutting right up the middle, wide open. You could have driven. I mean, we're talking about buses tonight. You could have driven that FCA Falcon 1 right up the middle of that hole and had plenty of space.
2-point conversion attempts coming up, and 2-point conversion no good. 18-6, a 12-point lead already for the Cowboys. 6:10 left to go in the second. Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. Chuck Miner Homes. Visit Chuck Miner Homes for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And by Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister. Safety for your family. .6:10 left to go in the second as the Cowboys get another 6 on the board. And flags thrown. Don't know if we'll get an announcement on this. They usually don't make announcements on the penalties. They're just going to re-kick it and move it back. Of course, the penalty announced by the far judge.
Looked like a false start on the kickoff. And if anybody takes off past the kicker on the kickoff, they'll call it a false start. Spencer, I don't know what's happening across the street. Samuel Hubbard to Josh Salstrom. Extra points good. Classical is tied with Lancaster Christian at 14 in the first quarter. Let me restate that. Classical is tied with Lancaster at 14 in the first quarter.
The Knights are putting on a show over there, and it hit off of the ground. I guess they ruled it down by contact. He had his knee down, so down at about the 8-yard line. So it shaves about 4 seconds off of the board, but looks like it was a good call because he had his knee down. He had to kneel down to get the ball. Regardless of the call in the field or not, they're still at the 7-yard line, it looks like, or about the 8. And I'd like to thank the scaffolding for getting in on this angle just a hair. And probably going to get in a little bit more.
There you go. Looks like there's something more part of the team now. There we go.
1st and 10 for the Falcons. They've got a long way to go to drive down this field. Sheets, right side, incomplete, intended for Carpenter.
In and out of the hands.
Davis Carpenter, again, we mentioned it at the Riverside game. Just the Carpenter genes are really good on the athletic side because we've seen them from 2 Carpenter brothers already, Logan and Bennett. And congratulations to Bennett Carpenter, who just got engaged as well.
Shut up.
Yep, got engaged.
Pull one out for the homies.
Had the pleasure of graduating with him and his fiancee, Lita Jorgensen, the photographer for Franklin Christian. Congratulations to both of them on the engagement.
It's big.
2nd down and 10. But, of course, the Carpenter.
We also thank him for his service, by the way.
Of course. Both him and Logan, both of them in the Marine Corps. We thank everybody for their service, of course, especially it got pushed back a week this year because of the next round of the championship, but usually it was Veterans Day weekend when we had the All-Star game.
Absolutely.
And
we'll still give a shout out.
Of course.
Both of our dads.
Yep.
Army veterans.
Yep, my dad,
That's pretty big.
U.S. Army Special Forces, 24 years. Which one did your
My
father
dad
serve?
was in the 3rd Armored.
How many years?
He was in for 8 years, and he was part of CID.
And scramble by Sheets is getting tugged down by the jersey from behind, and ball loose again. But
Nope,
ruled
they're
down
saying
by
it's down.
contact at about the 2-yard line, and just the frustration continues for the Falcons on homecoming night.
It's tough for them. 3rd Armored Division, 25th Infantry. He's with CID. He tracked down AWOL, so a bad man.
My grandfather also served in the U.S. Army. I don't remember how many years. I think it was 20, something
My
like
grandpa
that.
actually helped develop helicopters for the Army.
That's fantastic.
Other grandfather was in the Navy, so a lot of military history, a lot of military
And
background.
both of us are
in both of our families.
broadcasters. Are you proud of us, dads?
Yeah, for real.
4th down and 15. The Falcons are just going to punt it away. Sheets with the punt. Nobody deep back to receive, and it bounces to about the 42 plus 5, the 47-yard line.
No, it's not. It's 42.
I'm counting my numbers wrong.
Man,
Minus
Spence.
5 to the
Come on,
42-yard line.
Spence.
So the Cowboys will start in Falcons territory for this drive. And probably a good time to make sure that our clock is at 4:22 instead of 4:04.
It's at 4:20. Spencer, we got a scoring update from White House.
Fantastic.
Unsportsmanlike on the receiving team. 15-yard penalty. It'll be 1st down, White.
Didn't see the unsportsmanlike on there, but so add plus 15 instead of 5, so it's back in Cowboys territory. Still good field advantage on about the 44.
It was on the Cowboys that'll move them back. Hey, guess what? Derek Griffin, 14-yard touchdown run, 2-point conversion's good. Eagles lead the Colts 30-6.
18-6 is the score here. It's Freedom Cowboys trying to get another score up. The Falcon Fury chanting loudly, but it's not going to make a huge difference on that run as David Kinney gets to about the 47-yard line. Not quite moving the chains, looks pretty close. It'll be about 2nd down and inches.
Yeah, he didn't quite pick it up. Just some hard running. They're a gutsy team. They have been all throughout their existence, really. Teams from Tennessee, when they schedule them, they know they're not in for an easy game. They know that coming in. I think it's kind of curious to schedule them on homecoming, but, might want a special guest.
That's what I was mentioning earlier, because this is our 3rd homecoming game we've done on the year. And
they're going to get a false start.
Looks like we'll get a false start on there.
You saw Jaden Hermina start forward.
Fact. Dead ball. False start. On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still be 2nd down.
So again, your predictions are flawless
Well,
tonight, except for one.
Well, you saw Hermina start for. It's easy when you get pre-play penalties happening. Try saying that 10 times fast. But pre-play penalties, it's easy to kind of spot what it might be.
So now 2nd down and 5. Hand off, right side. There's a rush up the middle. Jaden Hermina. I'm going to mispronounce that no matter what, but Hermina gets to about the 36-yard line. Or actually make that the 39-yard line for the spot, another first down and 10.
Yeah, that's a way to make up those yards. You know, you got to do something with the situation that you just put your team in. And he takes care of it right there. Moore, 45-yard run. Lancaster leads Classical 20-14.
There's a first and 10 on the 39. Handoff, left side. There goes Jaden Hermina, gets stuck by the defense.
It's a good job by that D. You know, you got to fly to the ball. You got to swarm to that ball and just shut down the runner as soon, I mean, literally ASAP.
That was Sheets and Beecher on the tackle. And now second down and 10. Left side, and he sold it again. Flag.
Ball's out.
Falcons get it. Recovery by Zach Dooley. But we do have a flag in the backfield and on the sideline. We got to see what it is. It looks like they're pointing towards the Cowboys.
I think we're going to have a block in the back here, Spence. Block in the back or a face mask.
But the Falcons, it looks like they may have gotten it here. We'll wait for the call in just a moment. Here we go.
In the back, on the offense, penalty will be declined. Blue, first down blue.
So it's turned over on downs with the block in the back.
That's massive for the Falcons. You got to take that ball away. You don't get the ball to come out of halftime. You have to score here. It's an 18-6 ball game. You got to make things interesting.
They made it.
You're going to see a great run here by Hermina, or by Kinney rather, and the ball just pops out. Not a lot of ball security tonight.
Story of the game has been fumbles and turnovers.
This crowd, FCA crowd here at Jim Warren Park, they love it.
At homecoming.
Making some noise for the boys.
Noisy for sure.
It's like the Preds game I was at the other night.
First down and 10. Right side, incomplete.
Oh, he missed it. Just threw past him and missed him. He could have picked up a few more yards on that, but just led him just a little too much.
A little bit of a late whistle.
You never want to do that either.
There's a little bit of a late whistle on there, but now 2:07 left to go in the second. So it's about at the 35-yard line. Make that actually the 34-yard line.
Falcons are not out of the ballgame right now in any way, shape, or form.
Second and 10. High snap. Dooley doesn't fall on it, and the Cowboys recover.
If you're a quarterback, you got to get on top of that ball and bring it in. He did not do that, and he just cost his team possibly another touchdown.
By the Falcons, recovered by the Cowboys.
You can understand somewhat the logic behind it because of the amount of injuries that FCA has been swarmed with this season. But in this case, that's a football move you have to make.
You got to lay down. And a good job on the backside. It looked like Seuss on the right side of Dooley as he went back for the ball. Kind of blocked his ability to get to it a little bit as well.
So now a whole new story for the Cowboys as they take over in the red zone. Another handoff, right side, weaving through, brought down by about the shoulder. That's Hermina, brought down and gain of about 9 yards on the play for second down and 2.
Cowboys with a chance to really jump out in this ball game. FCA, you know what? Don't worry about it. Shake it off, pull a Taylor Swift, get back in it, and get that ball back. Take a shot with Hasley. Dooley's had success all night connecting with Hasley. He could do it again right here if they can get the ball back, but that's a big if. Jackson Lagnes has to step up right now.
Another fake handoff, right side. It's taken by Ogletree to the end zone. Touchdown.
Yep.
Another 6 on the board for the Freedom Cowboys, and this might get ugly if the Falcons are not careful.
Well, they've got Ogletree that they can give it to. Just right off the right side, and that's big.
He sold it again. It looked like he was going to give it to Hermina, but Ogletree sold it. Defense couldn't read it.
That's another guy that they can just throw in the ball game.
And 2-point conversion attempts have not been great for the Cowboys. I don't think they've even made one tonight.
No, they have not.
So just 4 raw touchdowns from the scoreboard. And will they get the 2 this time? Pass to the right, incomplete.
Nope.
No 2-point conversions on their side. 1:17 left to go in the second. TheKingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by International Fire Protection Incorporated. Life safety is our business. There's an injury on the field.
Hubble's down again.
Hubble down again. Grow, Live, Give. Visit growlivegive.com. Star Physical Therapy, your health, our hands choose Star. And Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Adam Hubble is down on the field again. We'll step aside for an injury timeout. Just 1:17 left to go on the game clock for the first half. Star Physical Therapy halftime report coming up. We'll give our analysis of this very eventful first half for the Falcons and Cowboys. And Sheets picks it up at about the 17, maybe the 14. Sheets weaving through, gets down to about the 34-yard line.
Good job to hold on to the ball there. Cannot cough up another fumble in that situation.
With 68 seconds left on the board and no timeouts left for the Falcons, time management is going to be the key here.
Well, we're going to get a good idea of what young Zach Dooley is going to be able to do in this kind of a situation, and what we're going to see what Coach Adams has to work with.
Coach Adams, of course, was an assistant coach on the MTAC championship team, took over as head coach after Tim Pettit stepped away, moved to the athletic director role for personal reasons. But Adams has been a fantastic coach for the Falcons, trying to lead them to a decent championship, and right side incomplete. That's one way to manage the clock. Just not the way you want.
Just get rid of it. I mean, you don't want to throw an interception. You don't want to take an intentional grounding penalty. You know, just do the safe thing. Get rid of the football.
So exactly 60 seconds left on the timer.
This is a big drive for the Falcons. I mean, I love to say this, but here's your ball game. I mean, if they don't score here, Freedom comes out of the half with the ball, and they could do some dangerous things.
Especially down by 18. And, yep, movement. It's probably going to be a false start.
Hey, that's my job.
I know it's your job.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still be second down.
I'll say this though, Spence. Cowboys traveled really, really well. I mean, they brought their cheerleaders. They've got several fans here. And again, we want to welcome everybody watching from Alabama. Welcome to the 8-Man Extreme. Welcome to the broadcast. Make sure you go follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell while you're here on YouTube. and that way you can always find out when we go live, including Extreme Radio every Sunday, 4 p.m.
And swatted in the backfield.
His arm was going. His arm was moving.
The moving motion, but it looks like it's recovered by the Falcons regardless, and it looks like
no, they're giving it to the Cowboys.
Sheets is leaning. We'll get the replay on that, but Sheets is hobbling over to the sideline.
Yeah, let's look at this because I think his arm was moving.
Again, one of the instances where instant replay would be beneficial. We'll catch the entire play here. Looks like from the backfield, it's close.
I think it was moving, Spence.
It's very close.
I think FCA would have an argument for sure. Now, they wouldn't have all the angles that NFL officials or even college officials have, but you could make an argument with that film that his arm was moving. That's a big turnover, though, for FCA.
And with 46 seconds left, the Cowboys could easily score here. There's Kinney, but a flag in the backfield.
You know, I'm going to punt on this one. I have no idea what it could be.
Let's go with a hold.
Blocking the back on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still be first down.
I kind of wanted to say block in the back, but, you know.
Sure
I'm 1 for 1 on calling block in the back, so I figured I'd punt on that one.
So now
that's a big break for the Falcons, though. 40 seconds left, and the Cowboys have to go 35 yards. All you got to do if you're the Falcons, of course, gum up that middle. The Cowboys have big old number 97 Brady Connolly going against Jackson Lagnus.
And they've got now 30 seconds to work with. They just let it run off the clock. Left side run by Hermina. And I think they're just going to let it run down here with 22 seconds left on the clock. They've got one timeout. They could try something here.
No, I think they possibly run another play. Nope, they're going to call a timeout.
Unless are they calling a timeout at all? Doesn't look like it. And that's going to be the half.
Nope, they're going to call a timeout, Spence.
Last
I told
second.
you. They're going to call a timeout with 3 seconds left and take a shot here. Did I or did I not say that?
Who says I have to listen to you?
That's true.
Timeout. Offense.
Well, I'll tell you how I know, Spence. It's because I looked over, and you can't see it on the camera shot, but I looked over, and the side official, Coach Collins, came up to him, and I know he said something about, hey, give me this timeout with about 3 seconds left. They just wanted to get time off the clock. Take one shot here. If you don't get it, no harm, no foul. If you do get it, you boost your lead a little bit. 12-6 looked like a ball game, Spence, but Falcons coughing up some fumbles, very costly.
And with 3.2 seconds here, so you're just going to send a bunch of your receivers to the end zone, or are you going to try and do some sort of run sneak? Because you've had at least for the Cowboys, they've had a decent running game.
I think you've got some trickeration coming up.
Regardless of any type of trickery that may be attempted, the Falcons defense doesn't have anybody back deep. They might be expecting it. 2 receivers out on the left, the Falcon Fury rising up. And final seconds winding down. It's a reversal. Sheets can't make the tackle. Here's to the right side, TJ Lorio. Lorio to the end zone, touchdown! My goodness, what a play.
Let's get the replay on that. You had a man in position to make the tackle.
It's a reversal.
And watch right here. Dooley was in position. He made a business decision, Spence. He said, you know what? I want to be the starting quarterback. Smart call, though, for him. I mean, obviously not for the team. Give up a touchdown. But great play calling by the Cowboys. You knew they were going to pull something out of their hat like that.
Delay game. On offense, 5-yard penalty, on time down.
Ooh, so I guess they reversed that?
No. Touchdown stands. They're the 2-point conversion.
But they're
going to give them the 2-point conversion.
No, isn't the delay of game a dead ball penalty?
It is, but it's a delay of game on the 2-point conversion.
Okay.
Because, see, the ball is spotted at the 7-yard line right now instead of the
I thought it was a dead ball on the actual play they had. That's what set me off just a little bit. But 30-6.
Spencer, who was that on the run?
That was Lorio, TJ Lorio. And 2-point conversion attempt. Goes toss left side, nobody there. No 2-point conversions made by the Cowboys all half, but they don't need it. 30-6 the score. The Cowboys leading over the Falcons at half on their homecoming night. The Star Physical Therapy halftime report is coming up in just a moment. You're watching the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Welcome, everybody, to the Star Physical Therapy Halftime Report. I'm Spencer Thompson. That's the CCS Bench Hall of Famer, James Shannon, who forgets to flip
and
his
Predators
cap
fan
every single time. How was the game?
8=11. You can get it on 8manextreme.com.
How was the
game?
game?
Was fantastic. Had a blast. Went with JD, and we did a little double date. Had a good time. Preds won 3-0. Matty Ekholm scored off his face, so
it was a good
it's
game.
always a good time. Got some glass seats. It's good stuff.
It was a good game for the Predators, but for the Falcons, not so much at the moment. They're
Negative
down
Ghost Rider.
30-6 at halftime on homecoming, and the Cowboys have had just such a dominant running game. They've hardly had to make any passes or any big passes, but the Falcons, they've been struggling on the passes very much throughout. They're just completions going through the hands of several players, but at least on the side of the Cowboys, they're doing exactly what they do best, and that's being dominant on the road.
Well, and they've always had a ground and pound attack, and that's what they're doing. FCA really hasn't faced a ground and pound like that. They didn't get a chance to play Swanee, so they're not used to that type of offense. But, for FCA, they've been coughing the ball up way too much. No ball security at all. We could easily have, Freedom's turned 3 turnovers into 3 touchdowns. So right now, because Freedom hasn't got 2-point conversions, we could have like an 18-12 ball game or an 18-18 instead of 30-6. And you got to credit the Cowboys for being able to turn those fumbles into points. That's what you have to do in order to succeed.
And the Falcons are going to need a lot of help in the second half if they want to get things going. But, some other teams that are going to need some help are the rest of the scores around the league. So at halftime, where do we stand?
How about this? Lancaster now leads Franklin Classical. Just got word. Now leads Franklin Classical 26-14. It was 14-14 there at the very beginning. Ezel Harding has taken off on the Colts at May Flanders Field. It's now 38-6, getting close to halftime up there. So a big win. 2-point conversion is good for Lancaster. So 28-14. Knights lead the Knights. There you go. And Eagles lead the Colts. For me, not a shocker, but some people it is.
Yeah, it's a crazy result for sure. At halftime, we've got about 10.5 minutes. We'll make it 13.5 because they will have a warm-up period. You're watching thekingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. We'll be back in about 13.5 minutes.
Mr.
Started the second half for Franklin Christian Academy's homecoming game, and an onside kick instantly fallen on at the 49-yard line. Falcons always gutsy with their calls, but not getting it on that one.
Good.
Spencer Tomset and James Shannon proud to bring you every moment of this with 8-Man Extreme on YouTube. We are getting down the stretch, ladies and gentlemen, because we are here in Week 8, and we've got more scoring updates.
And a good job by Pierce Dalton, I want to say, on that kickoff. Just falling on the ball, doing the simple play, just the safe thing. Get your offense the ball. That's all you want to do in any kind of kick return.
And how much of other teams giving their players the ball, we'll hear from that in just a moment after the first offensive drive of the second half. That's a run up the middle by Trent Plank. One of the bigger dudes for the Freedom Cowboys gets a gain of about 9 yards for 2nd and 1.
It's a good hard run. You're talking about updates at the half. Lancaster leads Classical 28-14. Ezo Harding leads Christian Community 38-6.
And we are getting down the stretch, ladies and gentlemen. We're in Week 8 of 11. We are officially 4 weeks out from the playoffs of the Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference starting, and the playoff picture is starting to shape even more. If that Lancaster's FCS score holds, the Knights are officially they are mathematically eliminated.
Classical, though.
Classical
That
is Lancaster. They solidify. I believe that gives them a 3-0 record in the South, and they've got their last 2 home games against Riverside and Ezel. So if they win against Riverside next week, it's officially clinched as a playoff berth. But nobody has in the South has officially clinched anything just yet, as we discussed on the show on Sunday. But of course, it's essentially that some teams clinched it, like Riverside with having the tiebreaker over the lower teams. But
well, that's a big game next week with Lancaster and Riverside.
There's the rush up the middle. The run by Ogletree again. 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line, and the Cowboys, they're within 2 scores of enacting the mercy rule.
Well, and their offense has, like I said during the halftime report, they have done a fantastic job of capitalizing on the Falcons' mistakes, taking those fumbles, turning them into points. That's what you have to do to be a successful offense.
And how about a successful offensive rush by Trent Plank again, pushing through. They can't wrap up a tackle. Plank finally brought down inside of the 10-yard line, just inside the 5 for 1st and goal.
It's a big run. That's a big boy. He's got a lot of momentum behind him.
Trent Plank with the big move there, and 10-10 and running down in the 3rd.
For the Falcons, though, obviously you want to score. That's a given.
Course.
But, just wrap this game up a little bit, get home. Massive game coming up with Christian Community, who's getting beaten at the moment.
And there's a handoff right side. Plank again, plows through, touchdown. I bet you at the scheduling meeting back in February, I bet you the Falcons would have rather had a different opponent on the night for their homecoming game.
Well, they might have. But they've already played South Haven, and they've already played Riverside, and those are the 2 teams that are on bye this week. Big run up the middle.
Just nice by Plank. Another 6 points on the board. And
I'm really enjoying watching this matchup between Brady Connolly and Jackson Lagnus.
And quarterback sneak, first successful 2-point conversion of the game for the Cowboys. That's a rush by, looks like Ogletree. 38-6. If they had made those 2-point conversions, the mercy rule would have been enacted sooner. But 9:45 left to go in the 3rd. And Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit IHateBuyingInsurance.com. kickoff here for the Freedom Cowboys. 9:45 left to go in the third as one more score would enact the mercy rule, even though it's an interstate game. So pretty sure it's universal with the National Federation of High School Sports.
Well, it's Tennessee officials, so.
Left side, Sheets. Weaving through the defense. Sheets, can he avoid tackles? Spins out several men up to about the 36-yard line. And Asa Sheets just showing why he's one of the star players for it.
Well, he holds on to the ball as well, and that's big. That gives FCA a chance on offense. Game's out of hand at this point, but if you're FCA, you know what? Again, just start working Dooley. Let him start throwing to Hasley. Throw to Sheets a little bit. Throw to the Carpenter brothers. They've been kind of quiet tonight so far.
We'll see if they could get anything going on this offensive drive. It's critical if they want to have any chance of getting back. Down by 32. It's a really steep hill to climb and very unlikely. However, we've seen miracle comebacks like that happen before. First and 10. Dooley to Sheets. Sheets finds the opening, cuts back, avoids a tackle, and gets brought down at about the 44-yard line. And again,
good hard run there by Sheets. Sorry, again. Oops. As Taylor Lewan would say, busting with the boys.
I didn't even know where I was going to. I didn't even know where I was going to go with that thought, but a good run by Dooley.
Hard run. I thought there was Sheets on the run.
Good pass by Dooley to get Sheets on the run.
A little bit of a shovel.
First down and 10.
Quick first half here in Jim Warren Park. So other games still sitting at halftime.
Falcons trying to drive down the field, get more points on the board for homecoming, and sideways pass. It's a live ball. Sheets picks it up. Scrambling. Makes something out of nothing. Gain of about 2 yards for second and 8.
That's 3 times now that these Cowboy defensive linemen have been able to get their big old paws. I mean, they look like Aaron Donald being able to get and it's the same guy every time. Let me look at how they line up, and I'll get the number for you. But it's the same guy every time. I think it's going to end up being Seuss. No, Hermina. Nope, Tristan Martone. Third time's the charm. But Tristan Martone 3 times tonight. He's gotten his hand on the ball every time that Dooley and the Falcons try to go left on a play. He's really contributed for the Cowboys tonight in terms of kind of getting in Dooley's head in terms of trying to make that left hand throw. I don't know how many times you could say in terms of.
Dooley has been pressured tonight, and with that pass on the right side to Carpenter, couldn't make the falling catch, had it right between his arms. That's the second target that Carpenter's had tonight where it's gone between them, but that time he was going towards the ground. A lot more difficult play to make.
That was a good shot by Dooley. I mean, it could have been a little bit better, a little bit more on the money, but on the run, heading right, trying to get the throw off, and it's a tough throw to make. Tough throw to make. Of course, we want to remember Isaiah Kimbrough out right now, but he's only a freshman. I just saw him on the sidelines with a jersey. They also have number 9 and number 1, so Ben Sheets and Austin Bramblett. So 4 players out so far for FCA.
It's been unfortunate that they have been out thus far, but
they got him.
Big sack made by the Freedom Cowboys on third down, brought Sheets down.
Martone making his presence known. It's a big sack. Dooley, right off the bat, Dooley had nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just gets dropped by a guy having a very good defensive night. Very good night defensively. Let me rephrase that.
Just defensively all around. There have been turnovers on both sides of the ball, but Freedom has just capitalized on more of those turnovers than Franklin Christian has. And the Falcons are trying to get out of this hole, but they'll have to punt it away at the very least, and this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. It goes down to about the 14-yard line, and the Cowboys will start out on offense. You look at the Falcons and the rest of their schedule. Again, they have 2 games in the South. Next week against the Ezel Harding Eagles. And with the way the Eagles have been playing throughout the season, especially against the defending conference champions, it is going to be one of the toughest games for Franklin Christian to play, especially losing their starting quarterback.
Well, they are a team that, they're struggling right now, and they'll get it together. It'll just take some time.
And Franklin Christian ends their season against the Classical School Knights. They
Battle of Franklin.
They ended with the Battle of Franklin. And yes,
Love it every year.
That's the only Thursday game on. The only other Thursday game is the Tennessee School for the Deaf and the Heat. That one's out in Knoxville. So we'll be doing the Battle of Franklin, as James already talked about, I believe, a broadcast ago, 2 broadcasts ago, something like that. But yes, we are doing the Battle of Franklin for I believe, the 3rd year in a row. And flag on the field.
Dead ball, false start, on offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
At this point, the penalties are just a sign of some of the things that have happened in this game. There hasn't been too much dirty laundry on the field, but they've come at critical times. This one not so critical, but for the Freedom Cowboys, they could shut it down here.
Yeah, it's been some mistakes that, really shouldn't have been made necessarily, but things they can correct.
Kinney, left side, pushes all the way through to the 20-yard line, gain of about 10 yards on the play. So aside from the penalty, it would have been a first down. And Cowboys player, it looks like Plank was down for a little bit.
He was just waiting on everyone else to get up. But I almost wonder what would have happened if Kinney would have completed that option shovel to Hermina on the left side.
We have a flag on the play.
Crackback block, on offense, half the distance, be second down.
So half the distance of the goal, so the Falcons have a chance to potentially get a safety here.
They could. Game is a little out of hand at this point, but you could still make a little bit of a statement here at the end going into a big game next week.
Make somewhat of a statement, or at least try to get something going, especially in front of their homecoming crowd. Kinney hands it off. There's right side. They get out of the hole a little bit. About 7-yard gain on the play. That's a rush by Hermina. So a gain of 7 yards. That'll make that 6 yards for a 2nd and 14.
FCA, like I said, or like you said, really a chance to pick up the safety here. May get them a little momentum. They could get rolling. But Cowboys, it's been a very successful business trip for them.
And we don't have the schedule for the Freedom Cowboys going out for the rest of the season.
Spencer.
You have it memorized. We don't have it on the helmet schedule.
Well, let me get it for you.
But it's
we might have
easy.
to start. We might have to start including it on the helmet schedule
It's
as many times as Tennessee is playing Freedom. We might as well just include them as an independent. Well, they are the only independent team in Alabama.
We know 2 of their 3 games. I don't believe they're active for fall break.
They are. Look. So they host Christian Community. They host East Central Homeschool, team out of Eastern Alabama, I believe. And then for the first time since 2005, we will have a Kentucky and an Alabama team play. Last time that happened was Evangel Christian taking on, I'm trying to remember the name of the team up in Kentucky. But that was the last time we had Kentucky versus Alabama, Spence. 14 years.
As Butler doesn't make the catch and 4th down and 11. It looks like it'll be a punt away. At least a decent defensive stand for the Falcons to prevent the mercy rule. But with the way the Falcons' offense has been playing tonight, it's just preventing the clock from fully winding down.
Well, and the numbers game plays into it too. You look at FCA, and with the 4 players being out, they have, I'm just going to say, about 18 guys. You look at the Cowboys roster, they look closer to about 30 players. So a lot of guys, a lot of bodies on the sidelines.
And they went for it on 4th down and just a turnover on downs. So with 5:10 left, it's a 1st and goal for the Falcons already. Interesting choice by
It
Coach
doesn't
Collins.
hurt anything. It's 38-6. It doesn't hurt anything at all.
Just interesting choice by Coach Collins, but now a 1st and goal on the 10-yard line.
Well, this is a big momentum builder for Freedom going into next week, hosting the defending champions for CCS, like we said, who are coming, taking a good loss right now.
And the Cowboy defense brings down Falcons in the backfield. That was Sheets again.
It's one of these situations where, okay, so Evangel whooped Freedom, Evangel whooped Ezel, and Ezel is whooping CCS right now. So you'd think maybe FCA could make a little dent.
We'll take this time to remind you the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit Dr. Sterling Foster for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. Is duly pass incomplete.
Missed at the Hubble there.
Chuck Miner Homes. Visit chuckminerhomes.com for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And by Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister, safety for your family. We said it already during the Riverside broadcast, but of course, thanks to all of our sponsors for making what we do possible.
Now, Spencer, we got a big game tomorrow night. It's prime time. Well, I'll take that back. It's not prime time. Tennessee School for the Deaf hosts Mississippi School for the Deaf, but it's a big game in terms of the MTAC North. A Tennessee Heat win over visiting Bowling Green Christian could lock the Tennessee Heat into a playoff spot.
And again, we went over it on, as there's a flag down, probably delay of game. We'll talk about that playoff spot after the call. It's interesting.
Timeout. Offense.
Well, they avoided.
You got a PA time again there, but a timeout called, and we'll get more into that game information in just a moment. Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by International Fire Protection Incorporated. Life safety is our business, and in the words of James Shannon, yes, sir. Grow, Live, Give. Visit growlivegive.com. Star Physical Therapy, your health, our hands, choose Star. And Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. There's Sheets weaving through the defense. They can't wrap up and tackle this man. How about it? Wow.
You're speechless, Spence.
That's one of the few moments you leave me speechless in the broadcast booth. Not wrapping up and tackling, that's one of those.
Ace of Sheets hitting every button on Madden. Every button on your Xbox controller, because nobody sane plays PlayStation. Hitting every button on that Xbox controller. Spencer up in the White House. Micah Jones to Brooks Pugh. It's a very deadly combination. 15 yards, 2-point conversion's good. Colts still down 38-14 to the Eagles.
So under 4 minutes left to go in the third as the Cowboys are trying to wrap it up. It's 4th and goal. Falcons trying to get a score here. And is that intercepted?
It's intercepted.
It's incomplete. Ruling's incomplete, and the Falcons had a chance to score on a gracious opportunity given to them for a 1st and goal on the 10-yard line.
It's a big break.
Turnover on downs.
So I mean, it wouldn't have mattered either way if it had been intercepted.
Right.
You know, they still got the ball.
Just would have mattered if they had scored in. So as we talked about, tomorrow night we'll be doing Bowling Green Christian being hosted by the Tennessee Heat in Mount Juliet.
Bam, son.
You annoyed me enough by saying that. But
you got it.
The scenario, if Bowling Green wins, everything's up in the air for the playoffs, basically. But if the Tennessee Heat win, they are guaranteed a playoff berth, and their matchup against South Haven, that will determine. That will determine. No, the matchup against South Haven.
Well,
that determines who will host the wild card.
Win and you're into hosting a playoff game.
Well, winning in is the scenario for the Tennessee Heat against Bowling Green. But if Bowling Green wins, and if South Haven loses, it's a 3-way coin toss for 2nd and 3rd place.
And it is a coin toss.
Yep, that was confirmed. There is no interdivisional rivalry game for the tiebreakers as
for this year.
Last year. For this year, it is a coin toss. But per the MTAC vice president, it's a chili cook-off. Whichever one tastes like Jets pizza, that closest that will be the winner. And
I'm down to be
James will be the judge.
I'm down to be the judge.
We're ready for that. That'll be great.
Shout out to Lighthouse, big win.
Of course, yeah, Lighthouse, big win for them against the Mountain Lions. Of course, for the Mountain Lions, the struggle continues. They are now 0-5 on the year. 2 of those games coming from forfeits, unfortunately. But they've got 2 more games. One of their games next week against Classical. Both of those teams will, or at least Classical, they have several wins. So Swanee looking for their first win. So it's going to be really interesting to see that matchup.
And they're 2 very winnable games, really. I mean, you saw what Classical, Freedom player down. He dropped the ball as he was going down, possibly cramps.
Looks like
And we're going to step away.
Yep, injury timeout. Ogletree was the injured player, but managed to walk off slowly. But good news for him is that looks like he's decent on the sidelines. They'll have him evaluated.
The onslaught continues in White House. Derek Griffin, 45-yard touchdown run. Eagles 46, Colts 14.
And does the onslaught continue here as the catch is made by Tanner Kaufman, tackled by both Carpenter and Beverly at about the 41-yard line.
Well, he's a big old tight end coming across the middle. He's got some hands. He can bring the ball in.
And a first down and 10 on the 41-yard line as the Cowboys are trying to get another score and enact the mercy rule, even though there's about 14 minutes left to go in the game. Cowboys just trying to wrap it up here. And again, Freedom, if the score holds, it looks like they are going to go 4-3 on their season record and go 2-1 against Tennessee teams. And they definitely need this motivational win when they come home to face off against the defending MTAC champions. And dirty laundry. Get the call.
Dead ball, false start, on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still be first down.
So again, moving it back, first and 15. We've seen a lot of false starts tonight, and you would think by week 8 of the season that these kinks would be worked out, but unfortunately not the case for the Freedom Cowboys or the Falcons.
Well, it happens. I mean, every once in a while. You're going to make little mistakes.
Just over 60 seconds in the third. Another handoff, and it's Hermina. Hermina to the left side. Can Carpenter stop him? No! Touchdown for the Cowboys.
That's a big run by Hermina, just adding to that 700 rushing yards that he's picked up on the season. He's really, really, really jacked that up tonight.
And mercy rule enacted after this, but
I'm sorry, he came in with 440. So he's definitely.
Where did 700 come from?
I don't know. He's definitely over. He's definitely over that 600 mark tonight. 2 big touchdown runs for him.
Hermina with just a big game tonight. 2-point conversion attempt coming up for the Cowboys. They've only made 1 out of, 42, so that's 7 touchdowns. 1 out of 7 attempts on their 2-point conversions tonight.
That's some solid math, Spence.
Left side toss. Didn't even look.
Shout out to the speaker.
That was Erskine. Maybe Erskine was intended. He wasn't even looking at the pass there, but about 48 seconds left. Likely the mercy rule is going to start running, but the Cowboys trying to wrap it up here in Franklin. 48 seconds left and a quick kick. Sheets again back to receive. Can he weave through the defense like he did earlier? Gets out of bounds at about the 34-yard line, and the clock continues to run with the mercy rule.
That's a big run, big tackle out of bounds, though. Or big tackle, well, it did go out of bounds. Clock's not going to stop for it, though, but big tackle there just to shut him down, stop that offense right there inside the 40, make them work for these yards. It's what the Cowboys have done all night to the Falcons. And Falcons are not going to get a play off. They might.
They might, or they might. It might be a delayed game because I'm pretty sure the play clock is about 30 seconds in high school, something like that.
Well, sitting at 7-6, 5.
And time called. 4.2 seconds.
Oh, they were playing with the Cowboys ball. Didn't have the Falcons ball in.
So they do stop the clock, but if they get the playoff or not is the question.
They're gonna have to snap it as soon as that official.
And they stopped the clock, so they haven't resumed it. But I guess they'll let them get the one playoff here. Right side, there's Sheets, weaves through. Again, they're not wrapping up and tackling, but get him down finally at the 42-yard line. That's going to end the third quarter. 44-6, the Freedom Cowboys just trying to wrap things up here in Franklin against the Falcons. You're watching Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Back after this. Started the fourth quarter, only 12 minutes left on the game clock. Spencer Thompson, James Shannon bringing you this the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week live from Jim Warren Park in Franklin, Tennessee.
Motioning over Carpenter. He wasn't on the right side of the field.
And handoff there to Sheets, brought down.
No, he wasn't.
Brought down. 48-yard line. And again, the wrap-up and tackle game has been the unfortunate downfall a little bit for the Cowboys defense. Of course, they're up 44-6, but with that play from Sheets earlier, it's been very interesting.
Well, he's just, it's hard running, and as Freedom starts filtering in guys, they're going to have to pick up on the tackling. They're going to have to learn that lesson. You got to wrap the guy up. Everybody learns it at some point in their time playing football.
Dooley under pressure, brought down and loses the ball again, and still loose, picked up by the Cowboys.
That's Nate Parker with the pressure, and I was just looking at him. I was like, 35. You know what? That defensive end has made plays all night. You look at the left side of the field, and it's number 92, Jacob Pendleton, a freshman, his first year playing football, and he has struggled with the defensive end on that side. They've got to shore up that left Wackle in position. Wackle in position. Wackle in, of course, guard, tackle, tight end. But got to lock that position up.
And Dooley just having a rough night, especially being under pressure so much by the Cowboys.
Coughing the ball up a whole lot.
Timeout called by Coach Collins. 10:26
Timeout. Offense.
About 10:26 left to go in the game.
Cowboys
Just being wrapped up here.
Time out of the half.
.23 left to go. Timeout called by the Cowboys. And Falcon Fury still cheering on their team to get a defensive stop here. And flags fly.
False start.
Everyone but the center?
No.
Maybe.
Dead ball. False start. On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
False start penalty on the Cowboys. 5-yard penalty.
So,
Replay down.
first and 15. A handoff. And tripped up in the backfield are the Cowboys. Coach Steve Adams, the head coach for several years. He's in his 3rd season, and he is 12-13 overall. But if the
Well, let's
score
find him here on the
holds,
sidelines.
I think you'll see him somewhere in there. There's Shaka Hill.
There's Braden Holcomb there.
Adams is probably somewhere. There he is. He's talking to Daniel Holcomb on the side there. He injured Daniel Holcomb with a torn ACL, unfortunately, but Adams is going to go to 12-14 if the score holds. And on 2nd and 15, the handoff. Left side stretched out and gain of about 5 yards in the play. 2nd down and 10. But of course, for Adams on 12-14, he did start out the season on a positive record. It was just the losses to Christian Community and then to Riverside and Lancaster. So FCA is on an 0-3 losing streak right now, looking to go 0-4.
Well, and 12-14, sitting about 500. You look at the things that have happened with the teams. I mean, it's been a tough go of it. But, of course, 2017, his first year.
They went to the semi and won in the consolation.
Right. So, I mean, it's still in a rebuilding year. Like we've mentioned several times, you lose the quality of guys that they did.
Dead ball. Delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
But you're right, the quality of players that FCA has had in the last several years. Of course, you go from the span of the 2014 to 2017 football seasons. It's unfortunately just been, I don't want to say downhill. It's been rebuilding for them because they've lost guys.
Yeah, no, I
guys.
wouldn't say downhill. It's rebuilding for sure. Like you said, you lose the kind of guys that they did that have won state championships, played in all-star games. Those are high-quality guys, and then you lose them to graduation. It's tough. It's tough. You got to start all over. But they've really been able to bring some more young guys up, guys who were on the team at the time, guys playing football for the first time. They have a co-op with West Academy out of Dixon, Tennessee. And they contribute some players, so they're putting a team together. Coach Adams is working on building that roster. We're going to have a false start here, Spence.
Yeah,
saw the running back jump early.
Saw that in the backfield.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It'll be 4th down.
Clock continuing to run down.
Delay of game penalty and a false start here on this drive. It just hurt them.
It's just been the story of the game has been false start penalties, turnovers, and just dominance from that run game of the Freedom Cowboys. Here's the brother to Jaden, Indiana, going up the middle. And
oh, that's pretty
stop the
dope
clock.
name.
They,
Is it really Indiana?
that's
Wow.
what we got on the roster.
Well, there's 3 Hermina brothers on the team. There's Indiana, there's River, and there's Jaden. That's some pretty cool names.
Ball goes over and down to be 1st and 10 from the Falcons.
It's almost like Riverside having the Morris brothers, Sammy, Michael, and Shane. I got all of them there, Riverside. I know there's Riverside people watching. I got your brothers.
Yeah, Riverside has a bye week this week, as does South Haven. So probably some of them watching this game, even though neither of them are playing against them in the rest of the season, because both South Haven and Riverside have taken their battles against Franklin. And toss. There's Carpenter. Can't make the catch. Broken up at the last second. Great defensive awareness by Luke McClure.
Davis just struggling so far on the night.
Davis pass attempt to Carpenter, broken up by McClure. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Like I said, a shout out to some Riverside folks taking in tonight's game, possibly some South Haven folks. Riverside, of course, a big win over Freedom Cowboys, big win over FCA, and then Freedom beats FCA. So if you're Riverside, you got to feel good.
And if you're
especially heading into next week's game with Lancaster, where Lancaster still only leads 28-14. No scoring update. It's in the 3rd quarter.
left side, rush Asa Sheets, cuts back in. He stepped out of bounds.
Perfect shot of that.
Yep. Stepped out of bounds at about the 48-yard line, and the clock continues to run with about 5 minutes left to go. So the Falcons trying to stop the mercy rule here. Obviously, at this point, you're not going to be able to make the comeback, but they're able to get a W, or they're able to try to get that mercy rule to stop, just I guess for pride's sake, and to shake off some rust to figure out what's going on here. As Sheets weaves through two defenders. Left side, Sheets. How about getting through 3? Can't get through 4 and 5.
Here's the problem, Spence. When you struggle with ball security all night, you're so worried about wrapping the football up that you can't swap. You don't even think about swapping the football from arm to arm. A couple players right there, yeah, he ran over him, but he could have stiff-armed him. And if he had been able, you saw right there, he's carrying the ball on the right hand, guys coming up on the right, he just has to try to bullet through. Swap that ball to your left side, put that right arm out, and go, take your pick. Najee Davis, Ezekiel Elliott, Derrick Henry on him.
Scramble on the right side. Flag thrown. Dooley gets the first down.
Going to get a hold here on the offense.
They do leave the clock winding down for the flag, and we'll get the call in just a moment.
Block in the back. On the offense, 10-yard penalty. Still be second down.
All right, well, I was wrong. That happens. Same arm motion.
Yep.
Hey, listen, everybody. Once the game's over, if you're watching this game right now, hop over to Instagram. As soon as the clock hits 0, or you can do it before, that's fine. Hop over to Instagram. If you're not following us already, what are you even doing? But
what are you doing with your life?
Hop over to Instagram Live. Spencer will have the post-game interview with Coach Kyle Collins. Big win for his guys. Here's Andy Reid.
Andy Reid weaving through. Where was he earlier in the game? They can't wrap up a tackle. Andy Reid to the end zone, a touchdown, and the Falcon Fury is booming.
Well, you kind of wonder if Freedom maybe gave that to him, or, it could be that with some backup guys on the field, they couldn't make it happen, but we do have a Cowboy down on the field. Looks like Daniel Wright. And he is back up under his own power. He's got his left arm all wrapped up, his left wrist and forearm, and it could be something going on with the hand issue, maybe a finger.
And the Falcon
could have re-injured it.
The Falcon fan base still ecstatic even with the impending loss, still ecstatic with the scores.
Well, they killed the mercy rule.
They killed it with 3:06 left to go in the fourth. Down by 32. Chance to make it 30 with this 2-point conversion. Dooley, right side, catch is made, and 2-point conversion is good.
Great
catch
job
made by Owen Carpenter.
Willa Carpenter got a catch. Congratulations. Great job.
Make that 14-44, down by 30. The Cowboys still trying to wrap things up, but the Falcons get a touchdown. There's a kick, and the music's still playing. It's the game is going in. The
Falcons got the ball.
Falcons get it. It goes 10 yards. Great move.
Great kick, just a little chip shot up over the back of the return man standing right there. Looked like it could have been Dalton. A little looked like a little chip shot there.
Maybe.
Who's the big golf guy from Brent Snedeker from here in town? Look, a little Snedeker chip shot up over the top.
One of the decent guys. One of the many decent golfers.
See, I know my golf.
I never said you didn't.
I didn't say you said I didn't.
Why are you saying it? Why are you saying, see, I know golf, as if I said that?
I don't know. It's been a long
We
day.
got dirty laundry on the field, and the officials having a discussion, I believe, to determine if the onside kick, because they did this before with the turnover on downs or on the onside kick earlier in the game, just to confer and make sure that it went either 10 yards or deflected off the player, all of that. So we'll get the determination from here, and just waiting for the call with 3:03 left to go in the game. And again, Instagram Live is where you're going to see the post game. We'll interview Kyle Collins at the game, get the post-game handshakes and huddle.
Head coach Kyle Collins.
Head coach Kyle Collins for the Freedom Cowboys. We'll get his word. Of course, they got a big matchup going into next week against the defending conference champions, of course, Freedom Independent. But it's one of those games, anytime Freedom plays against anybody in MTAC, it's a fairly close game. Not the case here. It was close in the beginning, but then the Cowboys just ran away with it. Maybe if Holcomb were in the game, it would be a different story, but who knows? We'll get the call.
Illegal touching on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. We'll re-kick.
So that's an unfortunate turn of events for the Falcons. They re-kick with the 5-yard penalty and moving it back.
Well, they could try it again, though. A little chip shot. Very doable. They should be moving to kick the ball off.
My correction. It'd be 5 yards from this spot, and it's going to be white ball, first down.
So I guess it wasn't Falcons' ball.
Had to get the rule corrected. Good job by the official correcting himself. They did a lot of. I've seen a lot of growth.
But it go from the spot where it was touchdown, right? It don't go from the kick line. It go.
Well, good discussion by them there.
I've seen a lot of growth in these officials. And a lot of that credit goes to Mr. Ronnie Perkins, the guy who coordinates all of them and kind of guides them. I've seen a lot of growth.
Ronnie Perkins, of course, many conversations we've had with him about officiating throughout this season, the next season, all those discussions.
He's a very open book.
Yeah, very much so. Yep, microphone still on for him. 3:03 as the Cowboys take over on the 35-yard line. That's an interesting placement. I haven't seen that type of thing before.
Might be 15 yards.
And a rush on the right side by Indiana Hermina, and gain of about 6 yards of the play as it's just winding down here.
Yep, just gonna wrap it up, take it back to Huntsville, and get ready for Christian Community, who they've mounted a tiny little bit of a comeback, avoiding the mercy rule. It's now 46-28. Micah Jones has hit Brooks Pugh and Johnny Stapleton for touchdowns.
And there's another run by Indiana going up the middle. Another case of the defense not being able to wrap up and tackle, and just weaves through, and they move the chains.
Lancaster has added another touchdown. One of the Moore brothers has punched it in. It's now 36-14, Lancaster.
And with about there's a timeout called by the Falcons. The clock's still running down. And with 2:10 left to go in the fourth, a timeout called by Franklin Christian. And the officials, we've got 2:10 left. The Freedom Cowboys just wrapping it up. .210 left to go. The Franklin Christian fan base chanting Falcons, still cheering on their team despite being down by 30 with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. 130 seconds left. As another run by Indiana.
What a stop.
It stopped at about the 14-yard line.
Noah Shoa.
We haven't called his name all night.
One of the seniors with the best name, one of the best names I've ever heard, may I say. Spencer, how about Classical holding Lancaster to 36 points? Fewer points than they scored. Well, let me fact check myself. I'll fact check myself.
Lowest score that Lancaster's been held to on the season. Franklin Classical has a way of doing that. They held Christian Community to one of their lowest scores ever for their season. It was back last year when the Colts hosted the Knights. That was their second lowest score, second to, of course, the Freedom Cowboys.
Spencer, you know where I'm going to go to make sure I have the correct score for the CC.
8manextreme.com.
8manextreme.com. I want to make sure I have the correct score. Folks, you can go there too, get updated standings, scores, everything you need to know. It's a fully functional website, constantly updated. That's something big that we haven't had in a while. So,
muffed snap in the backfield. Defense brings him down, and a little bit of a shoving match afterwards. It looked like
he didn't like that. He was
like Indiana shoved back the defender.
It didn't look like he liked the fact that he was holding on to him. So Lancaster beat Christian Community 42-22. So holding them to fewer points so far. Of course, it's only third quarter, but holding them to fewer points than Christian Community did.
And the Cowboy fan base is cheering. Homecoming night for the Falcons, unfortunately, ending this way. It's now about 4th down and 12, 20 seconds left. All they have to do is just scramble around and run down the entirety of the clock.
A very successful bit. Oh, that was a very classy move.
They knee it down on 4th down. That was so 9 seconds left. Maybe Franklin Christian takes a shot here. I don't know.
No.
Or they may just knee it down. Who knows?
It's possible.
But I mean, regardless,
we're gonna have a flag on Adams.
Got a flag on
Adams was all the way out at the hash marks.
He's talking to the officials a little bit.
He doesn't like something with the officials. Both of these coaches have had problems with the officials tonight. Let's get this call.
They just got to keep their temper. Having a bit of discussion, just trying to get the call. And
you're right. Can't take a knee from the shotgun.
So apparently,
Yeah, with 4th down, though. Can't take a knee from the shotgun.
so it's a penalty on the procedure
That's
there.
what
So
it
the
is. Can't
official-
spike it. Yeah.
So that's what.
So again, having his mic on when he's thinking it was off, but it is what it is. So one more play, and the Falcons won't get the ball with 9.8 seconds left.
And that's what Coach Adams was arguing, that you cannot knee the ball from the shotgun formation. I'd be interested to find that to talk more about that rule with Mr. Perkins, but then also calling the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Franklin Christian.
But it's a 1st and 10 for the Falcons, so correction on that. They do get the ball. One more play. We'll see if they will attempt anything here.
Very curious situation.
Very much indeed. 30-point difference, and it looks like the Falcons are going to knee it down, and that's going to end it. 44-14, that's the final score. The 30-point win for the Cowboys. They get it done on the road.
Stay tuned on our social media in just a little bit. As soon as the rest of the games go final, we'll have final score post for you. You'll catch up on all the games. Got a good one brewing in White House. We'll see the final. We'll see you tomorrow night. Bowling Green, Tennessee Heat.
Thank you for watching the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week.